Hello and welcome to Mitsumaru City. In my last video, I made this absolutely massive sewer system that goes through the entire network of the city. It goes underground every single street and it's all connected together using brick and moss cobblestone. As I go up this little shaft here, you can see the entrance towards the 7-Eleven. That's a manhole cover near the 7-Eleven. It's absolutely brilliant, but you know what? I've got to deal with all these poops. The poo-poo man left them for me in the last episode as a warning to tell me to deal with this absolute mess. It is disgusting. Now I've built the sewer system, I need to have a maintenance area, and it's very important to deal with. Here is the mod list that I'm using, and here are the resource packs that I'm using. I really like to use Yuushya mod, and I'm becoming a bit of an expert with it. This sewer maintenance area is very important because I need it to link the sewers to some kind of area where people can get down. The engineers can find a way to get in and deal with the problems that the sewer has. I pasted in a little bit more sewer, which is actually starting to really annoy me now, but I've done it, and I've done it to death, and I'm getting good at it. That bit is the maintenance shaft, at least one of them. If they want to go down with the ladders, they can, but I also need to make a little system of stairs because the engineers don't want to be climbing up and down those ladders all day. So here I'm going to build a little room that they can access the underneath with. I've just got to try and figure it out exactly. It's not the right shape, but I want to use brick because it's all brick underground. That's what they do, isn't it? Here you can see the stair network that I'm going to use to lead upstairs to the bit where they can get to the maintenance bay. That's basically what it is. For the stairs, I'm going to use pale bricks, and I'm also going to make sure that I tunnel it out correctly and make sure not to leave too many errors. Now I'm going to put in the pale bricks. The pale bricks are going to go up with a nice little staircase network of pale bricks as well. Very simple like that, and it's going to be bricked as well. I don't want to have too much exposed dirt. You can see the sewer network goes over there into the city and back up to the maintenance hub here. This little room is basically a maintenance shaft. It's nothing special, so I'm using metal walls at the minute, but I'm going to change those to have red ones. I'm going to have a nice simple brick roof because again, it's all made of brick. I want it to be very simple. Here I'm going to use these red blind walls because I think it looks a little bit better. Around the maintenance hub, I'm going to put a very simple brick wall, just like the solar plant next door. This area is just off Factory Avenue, and it kind of represents an area where there's got to be a lot of things for the city. There's also going to be some businesses here one day. I plan on having some kind of wood merchant next door, maybe, but I also need a water treatment plant, which I've got to get to. I was hoping to build the water treatment plant today, but I can't because I need the maintenance area for the sewers. I also need another security gate so you can't access it without a permit. Luckily, I can just copy and paste the same design from the solar plant opposite. No problem at all. Once this bit's finished, I'm going to paste in a little bit of different design on the floor. This is going to be a little warehouse space that engineers can get into and deal with the sewers before they place them. Also, it's a place where I can save the sewer and copy and paste it later with Axiom mod as I expand the city. So I'm building the maintenance area for imaginary engineers, but I'm also building it for me to store the blueprint for the sewers when I need them in the future, because I will need them. I'm going to have a roof on that, but first I'm going to build in this little side street. That's going to be for a lorry, because the lorry is going to be taking the sewer bits all around the city. I actually should have built this first, but, you know, never mind. I'll put in some yellow lines and a little fence so the truck can't go any further than that, and a few trash bins near the entrance. Looks pretty good like that, doesn't it? Now I'm going to have this tactile floor accessing the warehouse point and getting to where the offices are going to be. I also put in a few hazard points there so you can see that the manhole cover is accessible, and I'll leave that one open even though all the others are closed in the city. Now I'm going to add this truck. I like the idea of having a red truck because everything else is red and brick-like. Now I go over to the side, which you can't see, and I copy and paste the sewer network. That little chunk bit there, look. I laid it on the side so I could have a smaller roof, but actually, it's better like that. I copy and paste one of the segments on the floor, and then I start filling up the truck with a little bit of the sewer segment. Ready to go somewhere in the city, perhaps in the future, but not today because I've done all of the streets that are available right now. I add this red and white little guide marking to act as sort of like a safety holder, some kind of grabber, something that makes it look a bit more secure so the bits aren't going to fall off. Now I add a few tanks. These little tanks are going to contain water specimens of coloured water. I don't know why. Maybe there's some problem with those water things that they found in the sewers. I don't know. Now I'm going to work on the roof. It's not too much of an issue really, but I want to use this acacia roof. With the Yuushya mod, the acacia roof is not orange, it's like this dark brown colour. It's almost like dark oak, and it does look very nice. So now I'm putting in the lower half and the upper half of the roof segments, making sure that everything fits nicely. Once I've built it to a certain level, I've decided to use the Axiom mod to copy and paste the rest of it. It's going to be the most simplest roof in the world, one of those triangle roofs. We all seem to build those, don't we? So here I'm going to build one more layer of whatever random blocks and stick the bits on top. It does look very good like that, making sure to finish it up just a little bit more. Then I can copy and paste the whole thing. I destroyed the blocks underneath, and now it's copy time. So actually, I decided to take them away there and copy it and paste it. You see how it's gone up a little bit there? That's because I'm in the Axiom mod, pasting in this little bit of the roof. It does look good like that. The sewer is in the way, which is kind of odd to say, isn't it? But I can't put it in the ground. I don't want to do that anymore. I want to leave it there so I can copy and paste it in the future. So what I do is copy and paste that little bit of the roof there at the side. Then I bring down the sewer part just one bit. I make sure to have plenty of these little bits, including the ladder part there, look on the side. These are the segments and the blueprints for me to use in the future, and the engineers to use whenever they want, should they want to. I'll add one more little section of roof space. Looks good like that, nice and simple. It's like a warehouse. This is a very easy warehouse roof. I'll also stick in this little bit in the middle, and now I put in the side parts of the roof. I want to make sure that it looks okay on all sides. Then I'll put in the final parts of the roof, and it's complete on both sides. Now I can show you in first person mode how I'm going to put in a light hanging from the ceiling. First I put in these plant hangers down to about 3. Then I stick in some spruce blocks on them like that. Remove that one and turn that one into an entity. Put the fluorescent lamp in my offhand, go in with the GUI tool and replace with offhand. Brilliant. I think it's okay like that, but I'm going to move it across a little bit with the Z-axis. Turn all of these plant hangers into entities as well, then go in with the GUI tool and then shift them across and copy the code. Apply the code for the rest of those plant hangers, and the light is hanging up nicely, isn't it? That's brilliant. I've already done the other side, I'm just showing you how I do it with the Yuushya mod. There's one more thing I want to show you in first person mode. If I put in a fluorescent light like that, it doesn't sit on the wall, so you can turn it into an entity and rotate it. It doesn't seem to work like that, so what I have to do, look, is rotate it back to the original position, twist it around on the Z-axis like that, and then you can rotate it on the X-axis to sit on the wall. Pretty good. I just test it to see how far I need to go with the Z-axis, but I don't. It's done. Now I need to work on a toilet. The workers at the power plant next door don't have a toilet facility, and there's enough space at this sewer maintenance block to have one, so I'm going to have one here, and it's going to have a male and female toilet. Very easy and accessible for everybody nearby. I think that's fair. I decorate the male toilet with some blue things, a simple toilet and a sink. And I also put in a little slab in both of the toilets to have some shampoo. That's hand soap, isn't it, really? When you need to wash your hands after you've been. Once that's complete, I need to have some kind of office space. And this office space is going to be this L-shaped building made with metal blocks and a quartz roof that's slightly sunken. I poke in a few window spaces and use the standard Yuushya windows, some of them open and some of them offset a little bit. Inside the office, I'm going to change the floor to be quartz. I like the idea of having black and white, but it doesn't work so well. It does look interesting, but no. I'll keep it nice and clean and fresh, just like the solar plant next door. I put in tables, a little board, computers on all of the tables, because this is where they can access information about the sewer system. Which bit of the sewer is broken today? They can find out here and then send out engineers as needed. I put in a few TVs here. I guess they're going to represent data sheets or something. Make sure to decorate it with gaming chairs and a few carpets as well. I had a little safe on the table there, but I think it's too high, so I put it on the floor, stick in a couple of books, and don't forget to add a plant. It's not devoid of life over here. There does need to be some living beings, doesn't there? I add a few trash cans and a generator near the side, and stick in a little wall so nobody can go past that point. It does look very good like that, and nice and maintenance-like, doesn't it? Pretty good. I also decorate the buildings with a few broken notes, lists, and other things that might look good, like a few posters. That's pretty much the office and the toilet block complete for the solar plant as well. Round the side of the warehouse, I add a few barrels and a tree. Again, I don't want it to be empty of life. I want to have a few living things here. That looks pretty good, doesn't it? Now I'm going to put in these map markings. Oops, I put a tree there by mistake, so I removed that tree. Luckily, it didn't destroy any of the building. What I want to have here is a sign for the company. This is going to be the Mitsumaru City Sewer Department, so I need to have lots of different places to put the little maps. The idea for that really is to advertise it, but also make sure that it's nicely noticeable by all of the residents. If anybody happens to wander here at night, they can see that, oh, we're not supposed to go in there. That's the engineering department for the city. Once I put up the signs, it was a very easy process. I've got to prepare the maps, but I also want to make sure it's nice and safe. So I put up some barbed wire on the roof, and I put in a few drain pipes to this warehouse structure. It doesn't really need them, to be honest. The water can just fall off and go into the sewers. But I want to make it super safe, so I'm putting up these little pipes on the side of the structure with some barbed wire. That way, everything is super safe in my warehouse, and nobody can get in and climb up and do things they're not supposed to do. Because you're not allowed in the sewers, are you, in a city? That's the wrongest thing in the world. It's absolutely brilliant. It does look like a bit of a mess, but it's engineering. Here is the sign I'm going to put up. Mitsumaru Sewer Department, dealing with the poo-poo man, one flush at a time. That's pretty good, isn't it? It makes sense. That's what it's for. I'm going to put that on the building at the side there. I'm also going to add one to the back of the truck so you know what's coming down the road when you're there. One final touch is going to be adding an electric box. That's so everything's connected. Here you can see the sewer system linking to the maintenance bay. If you've liked this video, subscribe, and I'll see you next time in Mitsumaru City.